And we're on. My other rod is now going while I'm into a fish. I don't know if you can pick that up. Absolutely screaming. Still is. We're in trouble here. We're in big trouble, guys. I've got a fish here. I can't do anything about this. I don't want to just leave a fish hooked up. There we go. He's got to go back. I've got to let this go. Right, he's gone. This one is almost certainly off. Maybe not.
Hello guys, welcome back. As you can see, you join me once again out on the beach, and just coming into evening time at the minute, and we are down to the same spot that you may have seen a few weeks back when we were doing a bit of smooth hound fishing during the daytime. Tides are really good this evening to come down and have a go as we get into darkness, which obviously is a much better time to pick out the better stamp of hounds. So yeah, that's where we're at. I'm armed with some frozen peeler and also frozen prawn, so I'll be fishing peeler on one, prawn on the other rod, fishing the standard tactics that I generally employ, as you may have seen in the last video, which is the drop down pulley rig. I'm a massive fan of that when it comes to all of the shark species, you know, the rays, smooth hounds, etc. from the beach. I always go straight for the drop down pulley or the pulley dropper, however you want to call it. I'll show you a bit closer in depth the actual rig and the mechanics of it in a short while. The last video that I showed, I think the camera work wasn't so great and I didn't really get a very good clear run through of the actual rig, but I'll take you through the rig that I'm using, or the rigs that I'm using, and that's about it really. Hopefully, let's see if we can get involved with a bit of action. At the moment we're just on the ebb of the tide. This mark, as per last time, rips through. The tide absolutely goes at a rate of knots until it gets pretty low, about an hour either side of low water, when it really calms down and slackens off, and that's when you get an opportunity to avoid the weed and also the massive tide rip. I have got one rod out fishing at the moment, you can see there, full knot to, but really it's going to be just out there collecting weed, I should think, so I'll persevere with it for as long as I can, but it's almost certainly just going to be a big weed trap at the moment. If you can nick a fish, you know, just on the off chance, then happy days, but we'll wait and see. So let's have a go, and hope you enjoy.
So as I say, I'm just going to persevere. I'm literally casting it like 20 yards out at the moment. I'm going to just persevere, popping baits out. Again, you never know. If I could take a fish, it will be a bonus. It's not really fishing time at the moment, but I'm literally, as I say, doing a 20-yard flick and hoping that I don't get absolutely weeded out. But it's always worth having a cast, isn't it? There's no point in just sitting here looking at the water. Right, now you can see all this weed up the beach here. Absolutely piles of it. The tide is fierce. There is loads of weed. I can feel the line grating there. Yeah, big load of weed. Just have a look at all of that up the beach there. That's what you have to contend with as this tide rips through. It's really fierce and it just pushes all of that weed through and it just catches up your line like a washing line. there you go. I mean, that's been out there for about 5 minutes, and it's probably going to be a case of just sitting out for a period of time before I can even fish at the moment, because that's unfishable at the moment. Right, as I promised, for those who are interested, I just wanted to run you through, while the weed's out there and I'm not able to really fish it and I've got a bit of time, I thought I'd run you through the mechanics of the drop down pulley rig, and also how it works in relation to when it sits out there and how you're fishing it. So it's a clip down rig. Obviously, clipping it down stops it from flying around everywhere, stops the bait from blowing up. You don't need to cast far here, but it does help with distance casting also. As it hits the water, the splashdown clip there pops out and releases the bait. Now, the rig itself is made up by the rig body, which is £80, and then I've got a cascade swivel at the top, hooked on to a swivel at the top of the rig, which free slides through a pulley bead. Probably not explaining it so well, it's probably getting a little confusing, but you'll be able to see it when it's in full swing. So basically, the cascade swivel, as you can see there, hooks on to the swivel that hooks over, and the pulley bead line runs through the middle. As it all hits the water, the cascade swivel will release. The whole rig body ends up at the top of the line like this as the rig's in the water, and your cascade swivel that has your hook length or your hook snood on is then allowed to run freely up and down your rig body. Now, when the tide gets hold of it and the pressure of the water, and of course the angle of the line running down to the lead, eventually this whole hook snood here finds its way along the seabed and will sit itself nice and low to the seabed like so, flowing out into the tide. And what you have is all of these fish, like the ray species and like the smoothhounds, that are fishing hard on the bottom, really feeding hard on the bottom, looking for crabs, diving around in the nooks and crevices at the bottom. They're not really inclined to be wanting to come up and be taking baits, you know, suspended up here somewhere. Let's say if you have a standard pulley type rig that typically is going to suspend the bait much higher up in the water column. The drop down pulley, or the pulley dropper, whichever way you want to call it, literally will run and keep your bait nice and tight on the bottom. I've found, in my experience, fishing for hounds and rays, as I say, that this rig is the winner. It gets you a lot of bites. I've fished many times with lots of people using pulley rigs at the same time. Not to say that they're not catching good fish and good quantities of fish as well, but I often find that this rig outfishes the pulley rig, and I'm a massive fan of it. That's my go-to. As I've mentioned before, I wouldn't fish any other rig for this type of fishing. As soon as you hook a fish, obviously the pressure of the fish pulling on the end will pull the lead all the way up and keeps the lead relatively clear of the bottom snags and whatnot. But while the beauty of this rig is not just the pulley motion like a standard pulley rig, but it's the way you fish in this, close to the bottom, nice flowing trace, just ready for something to come and have a little go at it. And that's my rig. Hopefully you can get some use out of it if you want, but there you go. Just second cast that one out. Just about to show you how beautiful the place is that I'm at. I think I've caught myself a carrier bag in the tide. Oh, no I haven't, there's a fish on there. Bloody hell. Now that's amazing. I don't know what I've got. But there's something there. As soon as I've cast that out there, the prawn bait. What do we have? As soon as I've cast the prawn bait out, it's gone away. This is a hound, I should think. Yep, we're into a hound. So there you go. I thought I had a big clump of weed on. I was just about to tell you guys I'm just about to tell you all. Oh, he's getting back into the water. Now that won't be showed on the film, I shouldn't think. I was just about to tell you guys how nice and beautiful the place is, and bang, there we go, guys. Straight in. Nice little smoothie, just over 8 pounds. Happy days. Second cast with this big tide running. Fingers crossed that's not the early cast curse, but let's go and let this one go and try to get into something, get a little bit larger. There he goes. Right, for those of you tackle tarts who like to know the ins and outs of what rods and reels I'm using, my full setup, you can see there I use the Pen Fathom Casting Special reels. I've used them for a good few years now actually, and always got on with them. I know this knob gets a little bit in the way when you're bringing it in, but luckily I've got pretty chunky sized hands, so I can just literally palm over the whole top of that. I have a set of Century T800s that I had made up quite a few years ago actually by Richard Allgate from Water on the Naze. Used to be at Metcalf's tackle shop. Makes a very good job, does a really nice rod, and I mean they've stood me the test of time. I'm not flat out beach casting all the time, but every time I've used them and called upon them, they do the business for me. I like the T800s. They're not broomsticks. They've got nice soft enough tips to give you some good bite indication, but also enough backbone to cast out. I'm not a super caster, you know, but I can swing a lead out 80 yards comfortably with bait on. If I'm pushing it and I'm fishing well, maybe pushing 100 yards, you know, which is a fair crack. People think that, you know, will just say, oh, I'm casting 150 yards, this and that. You know, I've not seen that many people casting out with baits 150 yards, etc. But I can cast far enough for me to catch the fish, and that's all I need to worry about really. Now, that looked like a little knock there. That is a knock, I think. It's either that or, again, with this tide being dragged around, just going to hold the rod and have a feel and see what's going on. It's on a prawn bait. That's a bite. Just give it a chance to gobble it up. Slacken me off there, and we're in. Excellent. That's good. It's cutting down tide quickly. I don't know if you can see that. You can see the line through the water. I don't think it's a terribly big fish. He's actually beaching himself. It actually came in and almost beached itself. Now, crap up in line. So what I'm going to do, excellent. That crap's all gone back down now. So what I can do now is get back a little closer to the water and fight it down here. Lovely. So this is the second hound of the session. Just pull this one up the beach. There we go. Brilliant.
Here we go, guys. Number 2. Slightly smaller than the first one. Probably about 5 pounds this one. But very, very welcome all the same. Let's go and pop her back.
Here we go. Like a rocket. Beautiful. Okay guys, so I thought I'd just show you how I bait up a prawn. As you can see, nice juicy prawns from Southwest Sea Baits. All of their frozen stuff is absolutely spot on every time. What I do when I'm baiting prawn is I'll just trim the tail off, and I'd like to take off the nose section, and then this front flap here, I'll just pull it off also, because that just ends up flapping in the tide otherwise. I'll fish it with a pennel set up. I've got 2 6/0s here, and I'll thread the first top hook through the prawn and actually sit it right inside the head section, and all of that bit there I'm going to whip that back on nice and juicy, and then obviously the pennel hook, straighten the tail out, hold it just above level, give it a few wraps round and hook it through, pull it up. So we've got a nice little prawn straightened out there now. I'll get the whipping afterwards and just start to whip it up. This mush now, the head, I always like to just whip that in nicely with plenty of whipping like that, and that gives you a really nice juicy bait, nice and whipped up so it stays on there. Give it a couple of 1/2 inch knots, and let me just show you that now, covered in prawn juices. But there you go. Oh, snap that bit of elastic. There you go. That's the bait I like to fish. That's how I like to fish it. Looks a little bit crude with 2 big hooks, but believe me, them old fish don't really care how I'm in. Blimey. There we go. Oh, that one's taking off. Lovely. Excellent. Just tighten up a little on the drag and turn that clicker off. Lovely. It's turning into a really, really good little session at the moment. Now I've got prawn juices all over my hands, and my hand's slipping off the rod, something else. Oh, just trying to get the rod, top of the rod in view now. Don't know whether this one's going to do a little U-turn and get back out again. I'm going to walk it back. So much crap on my line that as soon as he gets back in the water, there we go, we've popped it through the shock leader. That's better. That's it. There we go, guys. Number 3, slightly smaller again, 4 pounds I reckon. Yeah, 4 pound still. Beautiful. Let's drop this one back. Oh, always feisty little buggers, aren't they? Lovely. Back she goes. And back she does go. And just have a look at that, people. 3 hounds in an hour so far, and there isn't one person on the beach. Only dog walkers. Whole beach to myself. Tide's going to be spot on. Low water just after 10, half 10, which is when this place really does fish the best, when that tide really slows down. And should just be dark by then. Hopefully that's when the big girls come out to play. Been having plenty of fun anyway with those other smaller fish, but I really want to get myself into a couple of decent sized fish tonight. That's my whole plan. But how about that? Not a single person taking advantage of this run of fish. It's amazing. Either I'm mad or they are, and I know what I think. There we go, there's a drop back. We're in. Oh, we've just been done. That's taken me right through the mussel beds and busted me there. So, just want to show you where I'm flicking it to. It is literally at this moment about a 20 to 25 yard flick, and no more, 30 yards max, and that seems to be take zone. There we go, fish on. Now, that one was on crab again. I think that's, it certainly isn't anything spectacular, as they like to do here. With this tide, I'll just pull him up. There we go. One out for you. He's only a little pup. There we go. Don't know if we can pick all that up. Just wash his mouth off a little. There we go. Miniature little shark. There we go. Just drop him back. Whoosh. Now I've got no rods in the water, and need to quickly get myself organised here. There we go, so we'll just go back out again. Again, no more than 20-30 yards, and just let it hit the bottom. Over it goes. Make sure you set your ratchet, because you will lose your rods otherwise. And I can carry on with trying to clear the weed out from this other rod, which I started about 10 minutes ago, but the other rod's been banging away catching fish. That's going away. There we go, we're in. That feels like a better fish. Oh yeah. Yeah, that one's took a bit of drag there. Coming straight into the beach again, as they do, and beaching itself. Now he's turning back out and going back out to sea. Funny how they do that. They like to come right in and beach themselves. It felt like a really good fish to start with. He took a bit of line off me, but he's actually not even that great at all. I think he's one of the smaller ones actually. Once again, we've got the shock leader all jammed up with weed. And going to have to pull it back up. There we go. There we go, guys. That's number 5. Like peas in a pod, really. They're coming thick and fast now. Frozen crab's really doing the business. I've had 3 on the frozen crab, 2 on prawn, lost 1 on the crab, got cut off on the mussels, but I can't even get my prawn rod in the water at the moment. I've just had 3 fish on the bounce now on frozen crab without even being able to cast my prawn rod back out. So I'm going to drop this one back in. I've got the prawn rod hooked up and ready to go, clipped up. Quickly get that out, then I can rebait my crab rod and get that out as well. Here we go. Now there's a run. This one I put out on spider crab peeler, a big soft spider crab, because I'd caught some spider crabs in my pot, and he took off at a rate of knots, that one. Feisty little fish. There you can see a big old spider peeler. Try not to get hooked. He's just thrown that away and he couldn't resist. They're coming thick and fast still. Still not even dark yet, but we're waiting for that big girl. This one's slightly better. Come on, bud. Back out you go. There we go. And we're on. My other rod is now going while I'm into a fish. I don't know if you can pick that up. I'm just going to show you. I've got one on and I'll run down to this. Turn that clicker off. It's annoying everybody. Oh dear, my damn, my other rod is flying. The other rod was just absolutely screaming. Still is. We're in trouble here. Oh, we're in big trouble, guys. I've got a fish here. I can't do anything about this. I don't want to just leave a fish hooked up. There we go. He's got to go back. This one's got off, I'm sure. I've got to let this go. Right, he's gone. This one is almost certainly off. Maybe not. I think we're still into this one as well. Well, don't know how well the camera's picking all this up, but it's bedlam. Absolute bedlam. We'll just pop this one in. This one succumbed again to the spider crab peeler. There we go. Right guys, oh, if it don't beat living crap out of me, well, if you can just see that little group of beautiful looking hounds has just tumbled through. Both rods gone, as you've seen, and I've been running from one rod to the other. Wow, that's mental. Whew. There we go. This one's on the spider crab bait, and that's on there. I've missed about 4 bites on the trot in the last few casts. Just pull this one up. Right guys, this is the 10th fish of the day. I think it's the 10th, maybe slightly more, slightly less. I've lost count now, but that one's probably the best of the day. Just under 10 pound that one was. So lovely. Let's drop it back. Just under 10 pounds that one. Right guys, to show you how hectic this session has become, I'm going to film in real time without any editing or cutting. I'm going to cast out. That's got a frozen crab on. I'm going to pop the rod in the rest, put the clicker on, and then I'm going to give it a few minutes while I'm filming, just to show you how many bites and how frenetic this session has become. I've literally missed 4 bites on the trot in quick succession. I've been unable to even get the camera rolling, and I am feeling very confident that within the next minute or two that rod is going to hoop over. And there you go, there's a bite straight away. Can you see that? Unbelievable. That is incredible. And we're in. We're on. Now, I hope the camera's picked all that up, because it just shows you the session I'm involved with here, guys. It is bedlam. Absolute bedlam. I'm sweating. Trying to get as much filming done as I can before it gets dark, because obviously I'm not going to be able to film in darkness, but I'm definitely going to sit it out and have a go in for a couple of hours in darkness to try to get myself a good one. There we go. I'll just try to pull this one up and grab hold of it. Oh. And there we are. And that was real-time film from start to finish. And there, I can do it without dropping my rod in. I'll pop my rod on my shoulder. Oh. Hang on, mate. Hang on. Hang on, buddy. And there, I'll try that again. There she is. Another 6, 7, 8 pounder. And she wants to go back, and she can go back. She's going to go. There we go. Right, guys. I had to switch the GoPro to the different angle now. we're in again. I'm gonna have to put my head torch on soon. I'm filming, he's going to stop. There we go. And another one. There we go. There we go. Another one. Another one just like the other one. Pop her back. We're in again. I'm literally getting an arm ache. This one's going up tide a wee bit. I've literally got an arm ache today from this. It's not often that happens, I can tell you. Smashing. We're in again. Ah, just lost that one. Jesus Christ. I've got 2 hounds on here. Bloody hell, guys. This is just ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. I've never had anything like this. Here we go, guys. Another nice one. There we go, guys. Is another one. Probably about number 14, 15, 16, 17. I don't even know, to be honest. I've lost count. I've had so many bites today. It's been incredible. I don't think there's a better way to end this week's viewing than with a nice fish. So I think that's what we're going to do. I'm going to say my goodbyes, start packing up now. My back's aching, completely battered. I've got about a 20-minute walk back to the motor, and I've got a couple of hours drive home as well. So thanks a lot for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Until next week, we'll see you again. And if you get out in the week, good luck. Cheers, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe.